Done, brother.
Thank God.
Done, man. Look at this stupid man in her car. I was hiding in the woods, man. I couldn't find her ID, so I snapped a picture and then took off in the woods. Perfect, dude. But you can watch the news tonight or something. I'm sure it's gonna be on there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
But I just wanted to tell you to know where it's done.
Sweet.
In the warm, sunlit streets of Florida, a dispute over the custody of a child would escalate into a violent crime that would leave a mother fighting for her life, a family torn apart, and a man's future destroyed. This is all about Tommy Carlton and Elizabeth Nichols, a family broken by obsession, anger, and a brutal act of desperation. In 1996, Tommy Lyle Carlton and Elizabeth Nicholas met while working as nurses in a busy Florida hospital. They became close friends, supporting each other through the challenges of their demanding jobs. That friendship quickly turned into something more, and by the end of that year, they were married. In 1998, their son Eric was born. At first, the joy of becoming parents was overwhelming, but soon after Eric's birth, cracks began to appear in their marriage. Tommy started to become distant, and the couple found themselves arguing constantly over mundane issues. 6 weeks after Eric's birth, Elizabeth was still relieving from the pain of gallbladder surgery. The storm brewing at home was unanticipated by Elizabeth. But 6 weeks after their son's birth, Tommy, her husband of several years, visited the hospital with his son, Eric, and told Elizabeth that she needed to keep his child for a night. Then he informed her that the world abruptly stopped. As Tommy introduced her to a male companion, Tommy turned to her, his eyes full of something new. He said it. "I'm gay." Her heart sank. She wasn't prepared for this. She didn't know if she could handle it or not. Tommy left the hospital with his companion. The moment Elizabeth saw them together, she felt a coldness creep into her heart because she hadn't been prepared for it. By the time Tommy spends more of his time away from home with his male partner, the frustration that had been simmering for weeks with verbal altercations finally bubbled over into a physical altercation. By the time she filed for divorce in 2000, Elizabeth felt empty. After the divorce, Elizabeth shared the joint custody of Eric. Joint custody seemed like a fair balance, though Eric spent more time with Elizabeth, who had primary custody. Tommy, ever the doting father, initially ensured regular child support payments, wanting to provide the best for his boy, even from afar. The first few years all went well, but soon Tommy stopped making child support payments. It began after Elizabeth again started dating a man named Jay Saltzman. Tommy couldn't ignore the simmering jealousy and unease that began to creep into his heart. As time passed, his support payments stopped altogether, and he also wanted to fight for custody for their son, Eric. He convinced himself that something was wrong, that Jay and Elizabeth's relationship might be putting Eric's life in danger. Elizabeth tired from ongoing conflict between Tommy and herself. She filed for the child support terms modified. After a few hurdles, she was finally given a court date for May 14, 2009. Tommy received the order to appear for the hearing. He took a complete U-turn. He stopped taking any of Elizabeth's calls and did not make contact with either of them. Tommy erased himself from the life of his ex-wife and son's life. But wouldn't longer, Tommy has sinister intentions for Elizabeth. In June 2008, Tommy met Ricky Donovan while attending Narcotics Anonymous, a non-profit fellowship. After striking up a friendship, Tommy told Ricky that he was looking for ways to take his wife out of the picture. According to Tommy, his wife Elizabeth and his boyfriend harming his son, and Tommy want custody of his son. Then Ricky introduced him to James Wood. James and Tommy developed a friendship for a few weeks. James also has a son from an old relationship, and he hadn't seen him for many years. Then Tommy shared his plans to eliminate Elizabeth, discussing various methods including poisoning and car tempering that looked like an accident. Tommy went as far as to suggest that if James helped him to kill Elizabeth, he would kill James's ex-wife so he could be with his son. After that, offered him a solution. On May 4th, 2009, Tommy met James at Quality Inn Hotel in Osceola County. James had informed one of his friends named Billy with whom to plan Elizabeth's perfect murder. Without Tommy's knowledge, the meeting begins, and Tommy was being recorded by Billy in case Tommy might later try to deny his involvement.
He's with this guy who's beating the scrap out of my son. I can't see him, they don't let me see him, and talk to him, and he's doing that. He's like calling me up on the phone, crying. The last time I talked to him, he called me on the phone. He's crying. He's like, "Why can't you come get me, man?" And he's crying. He's fucking. He'll turn 11 in June.
After a while, Tommy suggested they leave the hotel room, as he seemed uncomfortable staying there, and offered them to continue the conversation in his car.
Can we get on like my car and talk about it? I'm a little hesitant about this hotel room. I'm just kind of.
I don't give a fuck. I'm getting my goddamn truck or car or whatever.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Alright.
In starting, they begins with casual conversation. After that, Tommy convinced Billy that his son is in danger because of his ex-wife and her boyfriend. Tommy felt uncomfortable while talking in the hotel room. Then he asked to sit in the car and continued the conversation. Both Tommy and Billy decided on all the fine stuff and planned a proper murder. Tommy asks Billy to make sure that his son Eric is not anywhere nearby when everything happens.
How soon do you need it done? Roughly before like 14. I need a day or two of research, you know what I'm saying? Figure out how I'm gonna do it.
Billy explained the perfect way would be a single gunshot to the head.
I plan on using the gun. The most effective way is awesome. My God, got me back in there.
After Tommy asks the cost of this work, they both agreed on a $2,000 payment. At first $500 as a down payment, and further followed by $500 in 3 installments over a period of 6 weeks.
So what would that cost? How do you want it done? I don't want more than around. Because I want 500 up front, and then 15 when it's done. And if I do a business deal with them, I ain't gonna go knocking on your door every day.
The plan was to be executed before May 14th, 2009. On May 8th, 2009, Friday, both met at a Walmart parking lot, and Tommy handed $500 to Billy.
All in.
Just email holler, let me know when you want me to, visit my friend.
No problem. I'm gonna haul out away now. Yesterday she got off at 6:30 anyway, so I don't know if you've ever been to that job, but it's heaven. It's fun. It's a sweet spot.
Hours later, Tommy received a call from Billy and asked to meet again at Walmart parking, showing the pictures to Tommy, photographic evidence of the completed murder. Tommy felt a wave of relief wash over him as the job was finally done.
Done, brother. Thank God. Done, man. Look at this stupid man in her car. I was hiding in the woods, man. I couldn't find her ID, so I snapped a picture and then took off in the woods. Perfect, dude. But you can watch the news tonight or something. I'm sure it's gonna be on there. You know what I'm saying? So great. But I just wanted to show you to know where you know it's done.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh, thank God.
All right, man.
Both men decided to part ways to preserve their alibis and avoid unnecessary complications. Moments after Tommy stepped out of Billy's car, he received a call from Detective Irving Molina, Osceola Sheriff's Department. Tommy drove his car and reached the Osceola Sheriff Department, where he met with Detective Irving Molina and his partner Detective Brett Roller. Molina explained that they were told to contact Tommy by Jay Saltzman, Elizabeth's boyfriend. Detective Molina told him that something bad happened to his ex-wife.
That's my ex-wife.
It's your ex-wife?
Yeah.
Alright, so first of all, the reason why I wanted to talk to you today was something did happen to her, and I want to try to get information from anyone who can tell me anything about her. Okay?
Okay. What happened to her?
You're a doctor, or I'm sorry,
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse. Okay, so
Not Dr. Yet.
There's something that had happened to her. She's no longer with us at the moment. I'm sorry, to have to come straight out and tell you that. That's why
She died?
That's why I really did not want to speak to you on the phone.
Tommy didn't have much reaction if she died. They told he called the station because something bad had happened. Soon after, Detective Molina asked about his marriage and their relationship. Tommy then went on to say that it was Elizabeth who kept him away from his son and also accused her of drugging Eric in order to make him sleep.
How were you guys when you guys were married?
When we were married, she slept around with me 3 times. the night that that we split up, I came home early from a patient's house, and she was shooting up my kid with something. And that's all on record in Orlando. She had a needle stuck in his arm. She was shooting him up to get him to go to sleep.
With what?
Don't know. I was exhausted. I'd been up for like 40 some hours, and I kicked her out of the house and took Eric and went in the bedroom and pretty much just kind of passed out. When I woke up, she come and got Eric and took him, and she went to South Dakota. It was just a big mess, the whole thing. But that's just the norm for her. She just makes up crap, and it's just ridiculous.
Tommy went out to reveal to the detectives that his son Eric had complained to his best friend Mary Andrews about Jay. According to Mary, Jay had been abusive toward Eric.
So I called and said, "Oh, you want to talk with Mary?" He's like, "Yeah." And she told him that Eric told Mary that that Jay was throwing him across the room, throwing him on the ground, putting his knee in his back, slamming up against a mirror, and there was a big DCF case about it.
Altogether, Tommy hadn't painted a good picture of Elizabeth. Tommy told about, he stopped his payment support on purpose in order for Elizabeth to take him to court. He wanted to use that opportunity to expose Elizabeth's lies and double standard. Moline asked about Elizabeth's current location. He replied that he moved in with her boyfriend and denied about his current location and told that he had no contact to Elizabeth, not even to Eric recently. Tommy planned a perfect murder, but what was about to happen next? It seems like a movie scene.
And where's my son?
Your son is safe. Promise you. It's the first place we went. Yeah.
He didn't see nothing happen? He wasn't in the car or nothing?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
The hitman, Billy, he is hired to kill his ex-wife, is standing in front of him. Actually, the hitman Billy, an undercover cop Howard Griffin and James introduced him to at Quality Inn Hotel, and Tommy had hired to kill Elizabeth.
You ever met this guy before? I have. I want to introduce this is an agent from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Okay.
Roller and Molina revealed to him that they had been investigating him for 2 weeks, and the twist in this incident that Tommy hasn't imagined is that his ex-wife Elizabeth is alive, for whom Tommy planned a perfect murder. All truth came across. The detective Molina and Roller tell him all the truth that he had been investigating him for 2 weeks, the day Tommy met Billy, and the detective had all the proof in recorded form in case Tommy denied.
For probably, 2 weeks now? All right, ever since you met Billy?
Before that.
All right. Okay.
Now we understand everything that's happened.
So
Between you and Billy. What we don't understand, and I wouldn't like to leave it up to my assumption, is why? Is there something that we don't know that we should know?
And that's all.
Why would you take the steps that you did to get rid of your wife?
I didn't take any steps to get rid of my wife.
Have you been meeting with Billy the last week?
I saw him, twice.
Okay. Billy is Agent Griffin. He has been my partner for 5 years. You understand that?
Okay.
So where he goes, I go. So everywhere you've been with him, I've been there with him and with you. Now I understand from the moment that you guys first met, even prior to the moment that you guys first met. But please understand that before I come across you, I don't know you. I didn't know Elizabeth. So I don't understand what would drive a person to that point. There has to be a reason. There has to be a good reason. And I don't want to write down my assumptions of what I've known from you or I know of you. What I want to know is what you really tell me as to why, what happened, what pushed you to that point, to where we are right now.
Detective told Tommy that the evidence they have collected is enough to lock him in jail. He was arrested to commit attempted murder. Tommy Carlton was sentenced to 22 years in prison and was prohibited from having any direct or indirect contact with Elizabeth. While he was not restricted from contacting his son, Eric, the boy chose to distance himself and made no effort to reach out to his father. Despite appealing for a sentence review, both of Tommy's appeals were denied by the state. His actions revealed the dark depths of a man willing to eliminate the mother of his child, driven by greed, jealousy, and an insatiable desire for control. In his reckless pursuit of these selfish motives, Tommy showed no regard for the devastating impact on his son. Ultimately, his actions alienated him from everyone who once cared about him, leaving him utterly isolated. Do you think Tommy Carlton received the justice he deserved? And what about James Wood? Do you view him as courageous for stepping up and alerting the police when he sensed something was wrong? James's actions undoubtedly required bravery. In a situation fraught with uncertainty, his decision to act not only demonstrated his moral integrity, but also potentially saved lives. James showed the kind of courage that reminds us how one person's intervention can make a critical difference. What are your thoughts on Tommy's punishment and James's role in uncovering the truth? Share your opinions in the comments below. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember that every story has a lesson waiting to be learned.